You're watching BTV Plus.
Yes, we're doing it, Clark, because we gave her a word. We're gonna do it.
You never gave a
Yes, you
promise.
did. You gave a word. You said it. You
But I
said
never
it.
promised.
But you still said. Right, I got the bad look. Another compliment, girl. I went to sleep last night. Oh, yeah. I was like,
Every everyone, we're gonna get started in the next 5 minutes. For those of you that are online, if you could leave your name in the chat, organization, and an email so that we'll be able to reach you and send you updates after the meeting today. Thank you. So we could go ahead and get started. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. I know the weather is pretty ugly outside. Thank you all for joining us on Zoom, who wasn't able to make it here in person. My name is Kenny Dawson. I am the Corridor Project Manager here at the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation. And this is the second roundtable meeting of the year. So we'll keep you posted for the next dates and times for the roundtable meetings. So, thank you. So for upcoming events, we have Mr. Anderson. Miss- So we're gonna give everyone a few more minutes for intros. So what we'll do is we'll do intros and give community members or business owners that are in the room and that are online the opportunity to introduce themselves. Uh, what's the name of your business or organization you from? But this time we're only going to do new members. If this is your first time attending the Auburn Gresham roundtable meeting, please put a hand up on Zoom so that we know, and I'll just come around to see who doesn't have a familiar face. Thank you all.
Good evening. My name is Pastor Regina Newson. I'm new to Auburn Gresham with our ministry. We're at 8234 South Racine, Breath of Life, Chicago.
Hello, my name is Angela Greenfield, and I am with Breath of Life Chicago, and I've been in Auburn Gresham since about 1979.
My name is Romel Murphy. I'm with Life Score Foundation, and I'm sure I'll present later so you guys can hear more of what we do. And we're in the Chatham community.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ashley Simmons. I am a baker, owner of Lona Mae's Pound Cakes. Thank you.
What else new?
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Pat Flannery. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Engagement Unit for the Sheriff's Office. We have a substation on 83rd and Cottage. We're in Auburn, Gresham, and Chatham for indefinitely at this point. We have a lot of community programming and handing it off to a police officer here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Tara Daniels Davis. I'm with the Cook County Sheriff's Police Department. We do have teams in the area. We were here before a few years back, and we've returned at the request of the community. We are here to assist Chicago with whatever they need. We're a support for them and the community.
For those of you online, once again, please put a hand up and I'll call on you. We're going to start off with Calvin King.
All right. Sorry about that. Calvin King here, founder and executive director of Freelance Academy. Sorry I couldn't be there with you all in person. I have a slight bug that's going around, so I didn't want to get anybody sick. But Freelance Academy is a creative arts and performing arts agency that uses arts, culture, and entertainment to combat bullying in and around Chicago public schools. So we service the entire Chicagoland area.
Thank you, Calvin. Eric, is it any way that I can see, or is that the only hand? Oh, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ivan Capifali. I am the Commissioner for the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. We are the licensing department. So we your business license. We regulate your license activity, and I'm here representing the city. Invited by Alderman Moore, one of our preferred aldermen. We're passionate about the business community, so we're here to support this meeting and answer any questions about licensing, business. Okay, Ivan Capitale here at your service. Thank you.
My name is Chrissy Jones. I am the managing member of Neighborly Connect. Neighborly Connect is the overhead of an eclectic social scientific method. We focus on developing the whole individual, assisting and merging their efficacy within the community, and also community cohesion and self-sufficiency through the reintroduction of put out there bartering.
Next online, I believe is Alana B.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead. You go ahead in front of me. You want.
Or Plamen Yudornor.
Plamen Yordanov. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I and my wife, we manage the Plamen Art Foundation. We have old church building to restore and to make it art center. It's 17th Street and Stewart. So the last meeting we got information. We applied for one of the grants and we're on the waiting list. So eventually this year we can start reconstruction.
Next, Luciana. Sorry about that. Luciana, you're still muted. So I believe that's it. Luciana. I can see you. There you
Can
go.
you hear me?
Yes.
There you go. Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry. Good evening, everyone. This is Miss Luciana Just Check. I'm the executive director of AFC Community Development Corporation. I'm very excited about tonight's meeting and thank you so much for holding it.
Thank you. So now we're gonna go into announcements and upcoming events. Pass it to Ms. Norma.
I just wanted to introduce myself. Kenny introduced himself. I am Norma Sanders with the Greater Auburn Growth Development Corporation, Director of Special Initiatives in the Economic Development Pillar.
I am Anderson, SSA Program Manager for Greater Auburn Growth Development Corporation. So Eric, can you pull up some slides for upcoming programming or grants? So many of the grants that we're going to show have a short window. So business owners are encouraged to apply. We're going to start with the Small Business Improvement Fund. The corridor of 79th Street will be open from May 1st to May 30th. Like I said, it's a small window. A lot of business owners contact us the week before it closes. So if 30 businesses call, we can't service you guys. So let's spread that out and start immediately, please. But this is an excellent program. We're gonna move on to the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, which also applications are due by May 16th. Again, if you wait until the last minute, it'll be very difficult for us to assist you. But there are 3 stages of this grant. It's a rolling grant. You can use it for acquisition, renovation, We're here to service you and help walk you through this grant. Let's move on to the next. Yep. Mhm. Yep. So the upcoming application periods for quarter 3 are Friday, August 15th, and quarter 4, Friday, November 14th. So some of these grants you can find at chicago.gov/CDG. And this is another grant for reimbursement up to $250,000. This application also closes on May 16th. There are a lot of grants open right now, so we will be able to supply you with this information if you have questions afterwards. I know I'm moving through this kind of fast, but we are here to help you through any of these different grants. This is another grant, a 6-week coaching grant for $5,000. It closes April 25th at 5 p.m. The website that you can access this on is A as in Apple, 4cb.org/AEA. So this is Made in Illinois grant program. Disregard the bottom because this is a DECO grant with the state. This is for those who manufacture. There are a lot of manufacturers in this community, especially those who work from home. We do need you guys to come into the brick and mortar sector of our business corridors. But this grant, you can, well, the date is up on the left. This is applications accepted April 15th through the 30th of this year. Again, this is a DECO grant that you can apply for manufacturing. Shy Block Builder. Shy Block Builder is a useful tool if you had interest in acquiring specific parcels of land around the corridor. I know certain sectors open at a time, so it's not citywide, but please check this website out, shyblockbuilder.com/apply. And the parcels that are active will show up as so, and there's a key on that website to kind of walk you through those different parcels. And we're going to move on to hosted node discussions.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Good? So we got a couple questions about some of the businesses, in particular, the one that's right on the corner of 79th and Halsted. It's a new business called DNA Beauty Supply. And so we talked to the alderman and he said, why don't we just bring in some people to chat about it? You can ask questions that we can answer. And so we're looking forward to our guests that are here today. Let me get the names right. Hold on. You want to introduce Alderman? I'm gonna let Alderman introduce. Oh, there we go. Ivan, I remember Ivan. Say your last name.
Capafelli.
Capafelli, Commissioner of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Not yet. And is Lauren Smith here? You're both.
She's en route.
All right.
He's the commissioner. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank the commissioner for coming out today and having DPD out here as well. Come on, don't sit way back there. And the reason why I wanted to get up before Commissioner Capafelli is because I wanted to start from the beginning with this. Understand. Unfortunately, just like many of the Walgreens are closing, we had CVS to close. What year was that? 2018. And even through some fighting and trying to convince them to stay here to no avail. And the community came out big for that, and I appreciate that. But when you have businesses, you can't control, how a business come in or decide to close down, whether it was Target on 87th Street or other places throughout the city of Chicago. One of the things we wanted to do was try to get GAGDC, who had a strong interest in it and took very care of it and did very many activities out of there, which I think they were in conversation. It's a private equity firm that owns it. And so they were in conversations with them, and we had some great hopes that GAJDC would get it and do some of the great things that they're doing around in this community. Well, Carlos, you can help me out. I think they did a 360 or didn't communicate properly or whatever. And all of a sudden I get a call from Carlos Nelson, who's the executive director here at GAGC, and said, hey, this company, I'm hearing thinking about putting a beauty supply shop here. They've done it on, I think it was 115th, 103rd and Halsted, and they're taking over these stores and just throwing up beauty supply shops. And I said, wait, we don't want just no beauty supply shop coming up here. And so in the efforts to thwart that, I immediately put out an ordinance trying to stop it. But there was a time frame within that you had to go through a lot of channels. We finally got it through city council, but it got through, unfortunate, too late. And then even with trying to pass it through city council, it failed the other day. We tried to not for that particular area because they already were established, but to stop future businesses from coming in, just popping up beauty supply stores just without coming and consulting with the community, talking to the community or anything like that. So what I did was, I know a lot of people had a lot of questions. I got Facebook posts or people call, Alderman, why'd you allow this beauty supply store to come here? And so understand, I didn't allow it. They have what we call by right. And Commissioner Capafelli will explain that. By right, there's a lot of businesses, unless we downzone everything, which gets kind of challenging to downzone everything in the community, because that can give you problems too when businesses are trying to come in. Unless you downzone everything, there are a lot of businesses that come in that don't need zoning approval, that don't need automatic approval, but you would want them to come to the community and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And so I want to bring, if you will, bring Commissioner Capafelli up right now so he can explain what happens when we have something by right, when we have something that's got to go through ZBA, and then when something that has to go through zoning, which is automatic approval for. So you all give a warm welcome to, he was just newly appointed commissioner, but not new to BACP. So I'm grateful that he's the commissioner, because he's been somebody that's working, and he could have easily just sent someone out or got on Zoom, but he said, I want to be there myself. And I appreciate you for that, Commissioner. You all make a warm welcome for Commissioner Capafelli.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Moore. And thank you for the opportunity to join you here today, to the community here. And thank you for your continued leadership and for being an amazing steward and member of City Council and always having the small business community at heart. So my name is Ivan Capifali. I am the Commissioner for the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. A lot of people know it as BACP. I am joined today, and I'm actually waiting for Lawrence. He's probably caught in traffic. He's one of our business consulting supervisors, and he has a lot of information about the license application, but I'll be happy to answer questions as they come. So our mission, first of all, I want to talk about BACP first. Our mission is very clear, and it's to support Chicago's businesses, protect consumers and workers, and making sure that every day our city becomes stronger, that our business community is more vibrant and more equitable. Here's Lawrence. So under Mayor Johnson's leadership, we are committed to uplifting neighborhoods like this one here, making it easier to start and grow a business. And that includes how we manage the zoning and licensing process. We understand that the zoning is often one of the first and most critical steps in the business licensing journey. But before a license can be issued, a business must ensure that its proposed location and activity complies with the Chicago zoning regulations. That's why we work very closely with DPD, Department of Planning, to conduct zoning reviews in coordination with the license application. Our team at the Small Business Center helps applicants navigate this process and understand what's required, whether that's verifying the use, requesting a change, or actually confirming proper classification. Through Cut the Tape initiatives, we're making it easier to understand the zoning requirements up front. So our redesigned licensing website and those small changes that we're doing, our department is pro-business, right? We want to make sure that businesses come and prosper. So we're doing everything possible to make it very simple for a small business owner to open their doors. And so our redesigned licensing website includes clear zoning guidance, checklists, and tools to help applicants determine if their business type is allowed at a given location before they sign a lease or they get into any financial commitment. So we also remain very committed to the community. We do a lot of outreach and education. We host more than 100 webinars each year, and we fund over 60 neighborhood partners, including the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation, to offer free and localized support to aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs. In 2024, just to give you a quick overview, we issued over 5,000 business licenses, helping entrepreneurs bring their ideas to life across all 77 communities. Zoning review may seem like just one step, but it's often a make or break moment for small business success. When we streamline the process, we provide clear information and deliver personalized support. We help entrepreneurs avoid costly mistakes and delays, and we set them up for long-term success. I want to thank again the Alderman for your partnership, and thank you for everybody here in the community for the continued commitment. I'll be happy to answer any questions about the licensing process, and I have Lawrence here to get into the details. But basically, by right means that license doesn't go through any review that is going to hold it. Everything that we do, all of our licenses are dictated, where we operate is dictated by the municipality. So licenses issued by right when there are no checks. If there's not a regulated license, for example, a tobacco, a liquor, or a hospitality license, those need regulated automatic review, automatic confirmation, police, and other departments that are also brought on at the table to do checks. Food is another license that requires a health check. Tobacco, other licenses, limited business licenses, like the one for this beauty salon, they issue by right because they don't require other checks. So if you have any more questions about that, I'll be happy to bring Lawrence to the stage, and he can answer those questions for you too. So whatever questions, please go ahead and ask him.
A few housekeeping rules also. If you have a question, please wait till I come around with the mic so that everyone online could hear you.
Hello, quick question. What's the website? I can go on the website and
cityofchicago.gov/BACP.
EAC.
B, Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, BACP. I know it's a mouthful.
EAC.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dale Kane. You mentioned that businesses that come into the community, you want them to come and to prosper. I'm a former ops manager for Sam's Club, and usually when they open, there's a market share. Beauty salons, there are dozens of them in this community. And I just want to know, how can they sustain revenue to support being in that location? When I drive by, I don't see a lot of traffic there.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones. You also mentioned that certain businesses, professional service, they do not require censorship to come in.
So
Is that,
so
my question is that consistent across all of the community? Because I recall when my sister was opening up a salon, she was challenged because she had to be X amount of feet, miles, blocks, whatever the equation was. And she wasn't able to open her salon at the location that she wanted.
Okay, so there's a difference between the salons and the beauty supply store. Oh, and I'm Lawrence Smith, by the way. I'm the supervisor for Ivan at the Small Business Center. I pretty much basically supervise the issuance of licenses. So there's a rule where a personal service like a beauty salon, nail salon, they can't be within 1,000 feet of each other. If you are, then you have to do a special use permit. If you have to do a special use permit, then ultimately it is up to Mr. Moore or whatever alderman, is in charge.
Oh, it
Right.
wasn't in this community, it was in another ward. That's why I asked, is that consistent? And hers was more than 1,000. It was like over 2,000, like 20, it was.
A lot of people think it's door to door, but they're gonna when they do checks, it's property line to property line. So that's the city always is going to do property line to property line, not door to door. So
Across. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm just,
yeah, it's
the consistency, or are there different rules for different
no, it's
boards?
consistent, except when it's downtown. And downtown is like a different business district. They can be closer to each other. In that area, they consider downtown as Roosevelt to Diversey, the lakefront, all the way over to Ashland. So if you fall within that realm, then you don't have to abide by the 1,000 feet rule. However, if you fall in the medical district has a board that will review in that area, so they can deny you as well. But they go strictly by 1,000 feet rule. It's property line to property line, and that's just for personal service. So if it's a beauty salon, nail salon, or a barbershop, you can't be within 1,000 feet of each other if you don't fall in that area in the downtown. That salon got here because it's retail sales. So any type of retail sales, it can get through if it doesn't have, let's just say, with Jerk Villa down the street, that has liquor attached to it. If it got liquor attached to it, Mr. Moore has to review. The police commander has to review. Our liquor commissioner reviews. But if it's just straight food, and if it's the straight general merchandise, it doesn't require that extra step where somebody has to review. So there's just what they application was retail sales of general merchandise. So that's just hair, any type of hair accessories. And oftentimes, how they can sustain is they sell it in bulk to different salons. That's how.
Lawrence, can you explain the difference between the activity of hairdressing, cutting hair, which is a professional license by the state, and what we license?
Yeah. So the state licenses the individuals that do the hair. Um, so when it comes into play with us, we license the entire shop, not just the individual. Um, there are some it's weird with that one. We can fine them as much as we want. We can't cease and desist those that have a license with the state too, the double licensure. Um, the state would have to come in and do that. That's it's little nuances for almost every license type. So yeah, that's the difference really. If you got that Illinois Department of Professional Regulations license involved, we're kind of limited in how we can enforce it.
And
The hair salon was a tack-on question. My real question about, beauty supplies and, how are they sustaining themselves? I mean, is there something else going on, hidden agenda, with, I'll be curious of what their revenue is because I don't see that many cars in the parking lot. I've been in there personally and it's nicely set up, but the traffic, the revenue, and how can they sustain themselves?
It depends on what's being sold to what salon owner. They come in there. Let's just say there's a whole bunch of salons on like Western.
I see small bags going out of there. It's more individuals. I mean, I'm just saying, I live in a community. I'm just saying.
That's a very fair question, and we get that a lot. Thanks for asking it. So they have to disclose their business activity when they apply for the license. So we have a record of what they're doing. Anything outside of that, we have a very strong enforcement team that we can go and check. We have 7 day a week operations. We work closely with CPD, the vice unit of the police department. When there are complaints like that, we can always check. So your alderman should be the first stop when it comes to things like that. Alderman Moore is very, very close to BACP. If you have a complaint about a business that is affecting or impacting the quality of life of the neighborhood, he needs to know so that he can send that information to us. We'll partner with CPD and we'll stop any illegal activity. It could be from a citation to a full closure, depending on the how egregious it is.
Also, if you're online and you have any questions, please put it in the group chat or raise your hand. We do have a question by Alana B. How or can we make in-person meetings? Do they take walk-in to get more in-depth info and questions about zoning?
It is a first come, first served basis. So if you walk in, we're open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and we will answer any questions. So anybody that walks in there, they will be serviced that particular day. We try to also answer every email that comes in that particular day. Oh, yeah. We just added that too. You can actually check in from the website. So if you're parking, you can go to our website, thecityofchicago.gov, what's that, /BACP. And then, you can pull a ticket from your car. And then by the time you get up there, you'll be ready. We try to make it as convenient as possible. But if you come that day, you will get served. And oftentimes, I will be there. We close at 4:30. But if you're there, we will service you. I don't often leave to 5 o'clock, 5:30, sometimes 6 o'clock some days. Yesterday, we had 3 people in there to about 5:30. So you will get service if you come. We do not turn anybody away. Yeah, I was waiting for him right here. He's got the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was waiting on me. Hello, everyone. My name is Yerendi Cintron. I'm an Auburn Gresham resident. I did want to ask, I know that there was an Aldi's as well that also turned into a beauty supply store, which is unfortunate because it's actually just a couple minutes from my home. So how can we go about preventing, businesses that instead of it's needed for us as residents, from preventing it for being like beauty supply stores or maybe something that we already have lots of in the community? So how can we go about that?
What you want me to do? Yeah, I can give them ideas. All right. So what you can do, if you think it might be problematic or a problematic location, to hedge that off, you can ask the alderman to reclassify the zoning. There are certain zonings where you can't do it, and if he controls the zoning, so if you guys got a concern, you can try to hedge it off. I'm not sure how the process works. No.
That's exactly what we did. And now let me talk about the one on 76 real quick. The one on 76th Street, because it was already by right, I'm gonna give credit to that owner. He, after the Aldi closed, he waited almost 2 years waiting for us to try to identify what we wanted from the community. Now, this is still a person who is also paying taxes, right? And have to pay taxes on that property. And so Discount Meats was interested on 79th Street and opening up a bigger store. And I got to remember, a little of this is around COVID too and stuff like that. So Discounts Meats was interested. And so he had a conversation with Discounts Meat. He thought it was going to happen, and it did not happen at the last minute. Then he waited, said, Alderman, it fell through. You got anybody else? Talk with Melanie Winston, who owns Bill Winston's daughter, who they own the grocery store out in Forest Park. She said they would be, but they're not interested in leasing. They want to own the property. Of course, you can't make somebody sell their property, and he wasn't interested in selling. He wanted to lease it out. And then we had about three, because there are people who in the community saying, hey, we need a banquet hall. So there were about two people, maybe three, but I know two for sure, who were interested in a banquet hall. He held it up for them, waited for them. They didn't have their finances together. And then probably after almost 2 years, he said, Alderman, I got to do something, you know. I just cannot have this place here vacant and I'm not getting any revenue and I'm still trying to put something in. And he was going to put a, I think it was a furniture store. Somebody wanted to sell furniture there. And then it's by right, and he is still by right, but he was one of those businesses that was willing to work with the community. So technically I couldn't stop him from putting anything there, but because he was one of those businesses that work with the community, he waited long enough until he was able to get something that was just reasonable, and no one else was stepping up. The people that had the banquet halls didn't have their funding and things in place. We tried to help them with NOF, and that didn't happen. So that one was on his hand. So on this end, what I tried to do, to the commissioner's point, is pass an ordinance to put this in a, what we call B1, B2, B3, and I think C1 zoning area, to say, hey, it cannot be by right, that it's got to go through ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals, which you got to come before the community and all of that. Well, I'm just one alderman. This is a citywide ordinance, and what happens is that you got other aldermen that don't believe that. They believe that, in my case, they were saying, in the case they were saying, well, it's going to impact small businesses. They don't have the money to do ZBA, to get an attorney and all of that. Where I also fought back and said, I got a small business, young lady on 76, off of 76 in Halsted. I got a small beauty supply store who's a small business person in a community, but they're going to run her out of business if they keep popping up like this. Also, the one that's on 79th and Halsted that's been here for how many years? For many years in this community, and these are people that have been helpful to our community, and we don't want them going out of business by these larger boxes that's just popping up. And so it was voted down in city council, you know, because other council members felt like it would be a problem from a city standpoint with their business. But what really voted down, not just the aldermen, you have an organization called IRMA, you know, the Retail Merchants Association. They lobbied, they pulled together, they saw my ordinance and they came hard and they started calling aldermen, we don't want this passed. You got to remember, that's a person that donate to a lot of these aldermen. I'm just being real with you all. And IRMA came out heavy against it. And and so my ordinance was to definitely have it come through the aldermen through zoning. The mayor's office thought it was too strong and said, we're not going to get any support of that. So the mayor's office, along with BAC, they came up with what I thought was a fair and reasonable ordinance to do it through the ZBA, which is the Zoning Board of Appeals, which still say you got to come through for the community, but IRMA still didn't want that. And so they fought, and they were able to convince enough aldermen not to vote for it, and it failed in committee. And that's where we are right now. And so unless we do down zoning on these places when things close down, that's the only way you can stop it. But you don't want to downzone everything, because it becomes challenging, because when someone comes in to purchase, be it another, say a legitimate Walgreens or legitimate grocery store, they don't want to go through all that. They say, wait, this is in an R zone, residential zone? I don't want to deal with that. And then we'll miss it from that standpoint. So you got to weigh both of them. So the thing is now is to hold them accountable for being good neighbors in this community and making sure that they're giving back to the community and doing the right things and holding them accountable, you know. And so, and hopefully we could continue to bring good businesses in the community, like we're opening up here on 79th Street. So that, I hope that answers your question.
Alderman, who is IRMA? Is it the people that live in a community?
Illinois Retail Merchants Association. It's the retailers themselves.
Right.
And so it's the merchants, the business, be it the Walgreens.
They don't live in the community. So the people that live in the community, when you're getting ready to open up something, you missed this one. But if you're getting ready to open up something and they have to pay taxes, do you let the people that live in the community know we're getting ready to open up a in whatever you're getting ready to open up, so that they can say, yes, we want this, or no, we don't want this. And they come together because they live in this area. Because even if Irma does have, say Irma is Walmart, and we don't want them in here. You know, we live here, we have to purchase. So like she said, they're not gonna make no money. Oh no, Ashland is not making any money, the beauty supply. They're taking up the space. What does the people in the area have to say about the different businesses that are coming in or not coming in against what Irma says?
Because when it's not just Irma, it's about when it's by right. And I'll let.
But we pay taxes by right.
Mhm.
So we still don't have a say in who comes in our area and who doesn't. And you're the alderman. I mean,
Not in every case.
Okay.
And that's when when it's zoned by right. And that's what the commissioner was explaining.
But, okay.
It's certain licenses that don't require all the checkups. Like, for example, if it's a liquor license, if it's a bar, the alderman is going to have a say. The police commander is going to have a say. If it's say a theater or a community theater, something hospitality, payment, the alderman is going to have a say to that. But when it comes to retail sales, which is what was happening with this beauty salon, those licenses issue without the alderman saying the community review.
I just want to add that there is another location that is facing the same challenge, which is the former Walgreens on 87th and Ashland. It's located in the 18th ward. There are three major beauty supplies that are gobbling up the former CVS, Walgreens, et cetera, on a lease basis. So this owner, Jim Flowers, is actively fighting them off, but Walgreens has been closed for quite some time. But this is a constant issue. So I do agree with this young lady, but I do see the efforts of the aldermen.
Or, like they're all mixed up weird. Yeah.
I just wanted to add that piece.
I have to say, and I have to give credit to Alderman Moore. He's a fighter. He brings in everything that we do is dictated by the code. He challenges that all the time. So if you have any ideas, if you have any other things that we can evaluate, please work with him because he takes things to another level. So we're always happy to cooperate with him. So whatever ideas you have around this, we'll welcome to listen to them. Just reach out to him and we'll consider everything. Thank you.
White, yeah. And we'll make certain that we invite the owner of the DNA Beauty Supply to the next roundtable, which is the end of June. I think it's June 26th. I know Metra. So if you're interested in the progress of Metra, they will be here on June 26th, and we'll see if we can get the owners of DNA Beauty Supply to be here, as well as we have to, I mean, he's part of the community, and let's make sure that we hold him accountable.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Ivan. And thank you, Lawrence, for coming out and speaking. Yes, that'll be great. And just so everyone knows, our economic development team, in particular myself, I am our Neighborhood Business Development Center BACP contact. So if you have any questions, additional questions on this topic, this is something we can talk about in our business and economic development and jobs task force. It is like something that maybe we can see what we can advocate for ourselves. And so that's our responsibility. And we'll make sure we keep this topic going. Okay, so at the 79th Street node right here at Halsted, I did want to say we had a beauty salon, pretty classy. She's won our decorating contest a couple years in a row, and we were really sad to see that she has closed down. So if you're wondering, that's what's going on. And Kenny, we have a new business too.
Yes, by the name of, his name is Kirk Ellison. And the name of his company is, he has an organization, a nonprofit name. Blue, what is the name again? The Work Foundation.
So we're losing, but we're also growing as well, okay? And everybody who wants Commissioner Ivan's information, there it is. So now we're ready for.
So we're gonna move on to the business corridor safety team updates. So with all of the great work, the great efforts that our community partners are doing, developers are doing, business owners to make Auburn Gresham a better place, we want to talk about solutions and things that organizations are doing, and along with 6th District, to keep Auburn Gresham a safe place, to keep community members outside of the house on the business corridors, and also driving in business from outside of the community to come and take advantage of what all we have to offer here in Auburn Gresham. I know because of time restraints, we're going to kind of switch it up, the order on the agenda. So first, we would like to have Mr. Joshua Coakley from Target Area.
So it looked like we kind of spent the bulk of time with the community issue. So I'm gonna be really brief. I'm probably not gonna go through all these slides, but we'll go through them really quick. But most of y'all are aware who Target Area is, right? We hyper local. We in 5 different communities: Inglewood, Auburn Gresham, Chatham, East and West. For East and West Inglewood, Auburn Gresham, Chatham. We do a little work in Foster and A-Tray, which is a little farther south of Auburn Gresham, but it's still Auburn Gresham, and then East Garfield. And then also we international, we in Michigan, Indiana, South Bend, but we also do international work in South Africa, Cape Town. Next slide. So this is our mission statement. One thing we're trying to do is create a safer community by inspiring and empowering people, because we already realize it's going to take us to change people, right? And our model is awakening the spirit of leadership. So we hire from within the community, but we empower them for change, right? A lot of times the opportunities that that's available to some of us are not available to all of us. So I would say this, right? The first thing we did back in 1995, we surveyed this community. And out of the surveys we gained, public safety was number 1. The second thing was reentry. Most guys couldn't get a job because of their background. So this what led to our public safety work. Carlos Nelson and them realized, y'all know, probably saying Target Area Development. Yes, we was a development corporation. We started in 1995 developing right there at the corridor of Ashland of 79th Street. That corner was lapidated. You would get pulled off the bus, etc. You name it, it was happening on that corner. But when AFC Center moved there, the vision of our CEO, Apostle Stanford, was not only to redevelop 79th Street, but to help make it be safe again. So we were the first ones with glass and not gates. So we redeveloped that corner, wrote the development plan for 79th Street, and later on in the flick, Mr. Nelson continuing to complete it, and we're looking forward to continuing it with him. Next slide. So we don't just develop streets, we develop people. Because our values, we care, simply care about people, the community, advocacy, respect, and empowerment. Next slide. So our model, we went back to our roots. Most of y'all may know Senator Patricia Scott. She founded Target Area. And when she founded Target Area, she founded it on Rome. But when myself, as the external executive director, and Dr. MJ, who is our internal executive director, came into leadership about 3 years ago, we revisited our roots, right? Which was Rome. Rome stands for research, reentry. So we do reentry. We go into Sheridan Correctional Center 120 days before guys release. Longest standing contract with IDOC. So we get individuals in front of them before they come home and start doing that plan for them to come home and have opportunities when they get home. Research, of course, we know nothing happens without research. You could write as many grants as you want, but if you don't have a research that this community had I want to say a really high crime. I ain't gonna go into numbers right now, but we did have a really powerful reduction this year, right? So we able to show the display that us, groups like Public Equity, and multiple organizations that are doing the work in this community have seen a reduction this year. CBD too, we can't count them out because we all know when we get the wins, everybody want to celebrate the wins, but when the L's happen, nobody want to take the credit. So we celebrate the victories and the losses, but we can't do this work without collaboration. So we do have a professional understanding with law enforcement, right? They got a job to do, but we know when the tape go up, we don't cross the lines. We do our part with mediating the conflicts on the outside of the skirts because the agitators are there for retaliation, and you need people with credibility and lived experience to make sure that they don't go slide on the group that slid on them. So we realized that we got to hire the right credible people, people from the community, empower them on conflict mediation training, trauma-informed care, and so many other things that they benefit from through our program. Organizing, of course, we organize. Now, what y'all probably don't know, Target Area was the first Black organizing organization on the south side of Chicago. Yeah. In 1995, we led not only with organizing, but food. We fed the people and we loved on the people. So we met right there on that corner and we organized over 500 people and got laws passed like ban the box, the sealing and expungement of felony convictions, not just one like it used to be, but multiple exempt from 3. So giving our people opportunity now to really go after these jobs and sustain in our community. So, and of course, outreach. We call them our PSA, public safety advocates. Those are the guys y'all see out here in the orange, painting 79th Street orange, painting 63rd orange. Wherever we at, we hyper local, boots on the ground. We not just boots on the ground, but we rooted from the ground. See, we come from these communities and we understand the problems, and we hire brothers with LTO that's licensed to operate, which meaning you got license to move around in your community. You know what's happening in your community. One time you were a part of the problem, but now you're a part of the solution. So we empower them brothers who straight from these communities and get them opportunities and trainings on how to put out fires in their community. And no, we don't send them into fires without a fire suit, right? At the end of the day, we make sure that they credible because we ain't got a gun in the bag. All we got is our word and our sincere genuineness to care about individuals taking each other's lives. So, and the last thing is entrepreneurship, education, enterprise. So, Carlos, y'all came and seen a little bit what we doing. We realize everybody don't want to go to school, but we do have on-site GED. We do provide a stipend once they complete their GED. We also provide anger management, behavioral health services, case management services, victim advocate services. So people is getting killed on the street, we do help them bury their loved one if they were killed by gun violence. But we also offer supportive services to victims through our behavioral health. And then entertainment and enterprise is one of the other things that a lot of y'all have not seen the beautiful center that AFC Center is. That's the Highland Theater that seats about 2,000 people. And it's one of the most beautiful historical landmarks in urban Gresham that's so underused. But I guarantee y'all, after this year, we're going to change the narrative because we're not playing no more. We bringing arts back to our community. So, and these are just some of the umbrellas that comes up under AFC. AFC Ambassadors for Christ. We did start as a ministry. As you see them little storefronts, we didn't keep them empty. We housed over 50 different churches every Sunday, and we gave them space to house church or whatever when they didn't have the money to start. So we turned it into a church incubator many years ago to develop smaller churches like we're developing smaller businesses. So the vision of the apostle was to be able to equip other people for opportunity that they may not. However, that has shifted. It is no longer AFC Ambassadors for Christ. It is AFC Center, which means it belongs to y'all. We have to take advantage of the opportunities that's right there. That's an incubator for training. That's an incubator for development. That's an incubator for arts and so many other things. And also, last but not least, well, we have AFC CDC, which is Lucci. She's on the call. She deals with the housing. We do have a housing development right there on Laughlin that I believe it takes care of about 15 different families. And then Safe Cities, that's the work we're doing in Africa. Y'all can Google us, follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and you will see some of the wonderful work we're doing in Africa. We did go down there when they were in apartheid. If you guys never know, it was slavery just like it was here over there. But we went over there and redeveloped the people. Not only did we teach them how to eat, we taught them how to bake their own bread and build their own houses. So we got a brick making company and a bakery down there. And our wonderful CEO will be leaving this month to go to Africa. But these are some of the locations. We got about 150 employees, guys. We don't just do public safety, we do reentry too. We do organizing. We also got 25 schools that we watch your children to and from school on the south and west side of Chicago. So Target's vision has expanded worldwide. Next slide. And then this is some of our leadership. You can go to the next slide. So these are the teams that we have that I mentioned. I know I jumped ahead of myself because I was trying to make sure I get y'all in and out. I know I ain't want to hold church, but I did want to get to the point. You know, at the end of the day, we got case management, victim services, crisis response. That's our CPRU team that goes out when these youth trends are happening. We just had one at Kennedy at the skating rink that we recently responded to, coordinated with the commander, and we made sure that we had boots on the ground and we didn't see them take over the skating rink like they wanted to. Of course, organizing, reentry, outreach. Our outreach workers are credible messengers. Some of them do have backgrounds, well, the majority of them, because we background friendly and we believe in second chance. And although shout out, this is second chance month, so this is the right time to be doing what we're doing. And lastly, our mentoring, our youth program guys are taking off. So we just opened our youth zone office in Inglewood. Shout out to McCormick for funding that program. We have a downstairs and an upstairs office that's particularly ready for youth. We got about 25 youth we servicing in Inglewood and Auburn Gresham where they learning opportunities, and we provided all of these services that you see at the bottom. I'm not gonna go through them, but they are actually on the board. And pretty much next slide. And here's our main office, but I think he wanted me to touch really quick about the summer strategy plans. So most of y'all may be aware of what we call SE2, that's Scaling a Safer Chicago 2. So the first time in history, organizations who are doing CVI work, which is community violence intervention, has came together collectively to go out to one mission, and that's to save lives, but also deal with the gaps of the groups that's being left behind. Now, I may have LTO from Ashland to 69, but my brother Cass might have had it from this end to that end, and Jesse might be able to take over Chatham. So we have came together collectively with best practices, intertwining our safety skills, our best practices, right, to scale up this work at Inglewood. That way, no group is left behind, and making sure all of them benefit from the services that's available through this work that we're doing. And I'm super excited that this getting ready to pilot in Inglewood, but it's coming to Auburn Gresham too. So I hate the fact that they do base it off the numbers. Our numbers are down, and we want to keep them that way, right? We don't want you to fund us when the spike go up. Fund us to maintain the peace that we're seeing in the community. So one of the strategies that we're doing, we're on hotspot locations right now. We got 8 different hotspots in Auburn Gresham. Law enforcement probably know what I'm talking about when I'm saying hotspots, but for the community, I say hotspots are those areas that's violence likely to take place, homicides, murders, other things that we don't focus on that I ain't gonna even talk about, because that's their job to do. We got a job to do, and our job is to stop shootings and killings on the front end. And the other stuff, we got other partners that deal with that. But on these 8 hotspots, we have deployed what we call flip workers, flatlining violence, inspiring peace. As a matter of fact, when you get home, you're gonna see us on the news today. We actually just had a press conference with the governor and the mayor and all these other politicians that support our work, right? Yeah, elected officials. I hate to use politicians, you know, but yeah, and Flatline Violence Inspiring Peace stands for, it's an initiative where we realize, okay, yeah, me and Jesse and this brother might want to put out violence in our community, but how can we do it without them? So what we did, we created a pilot program where we incentivizing them to keep peace on their own blocks. Now, you ain't got to go over there on 69, but keep 79 straight. This is your area. You're going to get a stipend for mediating conflict, and you're going to get some training on education and workshop. So that's one of the programs that we're looking to continue to launch. I will say this, right now we're only funded to July. So hopefully somebody on the airway that knows somebody understand how important we need this program, and they will continue to fund it. That's my job, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I speak all to power about creating sustainable programming for our community, and I tell them what we need. Well, I don't tell them, I ask them for it, and I hope they give us what we need. But again, as I say all the time, it's gonna take us to save us. Shout out to Commander Tate, who constantly calls me and makes sure that we're communicating and making sure that we are Johnny on the spot when it happens. Vice versa, Public Equity, who is supporting the initiative here in Auburn Gresham. Because at the end of the day, all of us have a role to do. And I'm with Kenny. This is my ask to the business community, though. And shout out to the business community for coming in, and really doing this work with community violence intervention, because this the first year you ever seen Cook County, city, state, and the business and philanthropy at the table concerned about violence in their community. But the way we gonna be able to do this is y'all business owners support the work that we doing. And I don't mean just opening your door for us to come in and put flyers, but when we putting on events, send some ice, send some pops, send a table, give a job to some of the people that we working with. So I was asked that we all continue to work together. We will support y'all. Now, don't call us about no loose cigarettes in front of your store, none of that. We don't do that. I'm just FYI. We not there to do none of that type of stuff. Now, if there's a shooting or a possible potential act of violence that's going to take place and we can get in front of it, we coming. But do not call us for that other stuff. I've had to fight people off all the time, and they tell me, man, they selling drugs on my block. I'm like, call the police. Like, at the end of the day, we not the police. I say now, we will come do a workshop and a job fair there, but that's our job, is to continue to keep our credibility and be credible messages. And we can't do that without actually understanding, the community needs and addressing those needs. But that's my piece. I do have brochures for those who need them. And feel free to reach out to us. We boots on the ground, and like I said, we want to see change in our community. So let's keep seeing these numbers go down in Chicago.
Thank you, Mr. Coakley. So this idea actually stemmed from an event that we did last year called Positive Loitering. And we were trying to figure out what could we do to bring resources to community members that were standing on the corner, kind of meet them where they at. We know that we're doing a lot of work in our respectable brick and mortars, our buildings, but how do we make them feel like they're invited? How do they feel inclusive with all of the new development that's going on? So we had these events, and that's when I figured out that a lot of these organizations that do violence intervention, they have services. I don't know if you all paid attention to the words or everything that he has. So when you look at guys like Joshua from Target, Jesse and Tony from Public Equity, Romero from Life Score, they have services, not only guys just walking through the community, but giving them trainings, giving them opportunities, and giving them ways to feed their family. So I wanted to create a steering committee. So we had it, we partnered with 6th District as well. It kind of fell by the wayside, but now we're trying to pick it up and build it stronger than ever, and include business owners and community members to this meeting so that we can all come together and be on the same page. So with that, I'll go right into Romel from Life Score Foundation.
Good evening. First, I want to thank you guys for this. I think this is great, Kenny. I appreciate you inviting us. And then, Brother Eric, like what Target Area do is dynamic. Like between y'all activists, public equity, y'all try to keep our community safe in the streets and try to mediate, get ahead of violence, and do great intervention. So I appreciate you, and I salute you. And I actually am going to learn from you guys, because Life Score is new to the CVI arena, and we got the RPSA grant. So now we're trying to get our hands around Chatham. And like you said, we have gotten gentlemen that are LOA and, just trying to license to operate. License to operate. So we got them in the community in Chatham and trying to just get our boots on the ground and wrap our hands around it. So I will be calling upon you and learning and get some tools. But I'm not going to read the slide. I'm going to let you guys look at it. But Life Score, we're just a community-driven organization reclaiming our Black creativity, challenging the harmful systems and fostering healing through education, expression, and empowerment. So at Life Score, we basically just try to wrap our arms around our youth, mentorship, workforce development, and we just try to guide them on a path and fill them with tools to how to deal with their emotional intelligence, CPR training, yoga, trying to get the energy, the negative energy away. Because sometimes they say their story is, oh, we have a black cloud or don't nobody love us. So we're trying to get that negativity out of their system and allow them to open up their creativity and just lead them on the path to make a difference. We just acquired a new space in Chatham on 84th and Chatham next to Taylor Wright Dry Cleaners. We're going to have a podcast studio, recording studio, a yoga space, a tech hub, just a place where they can come as their safe haven. This your safe haven. Y'all can come here and do whatever y'all want, create what you want, and understand that we have people that are supporting you and pushing you and trying to align your life. We're teaching how to have your resume done correctly, the punctuality and accountability with a job. I don't want you to just get a job. I want you to keep a job. So I live by a model called the ABC: any job, better job, and then your career. So that's what we try to funnel down them in life scores. Like, we're gonna get you a job to put some money in your pocket and feed you. Because before I can try to mentor you and love on you, you got to have your bare necessities met. Then we're gonna get you a better job. So now you're looking in the mirror, okay, and then we're gonna try to guide you to your career. So life score is just an all around wraparound services. And we just basically want to bring something to Chatham and let the youth know that we're here and we love them. And then we have our seniors have events, just sound healing, yoga, just to keep the body active and just keep them young. And we're actually also in our new space, we're doing a juice bar. So it's a juice bar for the community. Come get fresh juices free of charge. And it's just to let them know we're here, eat healthy, and just enjoy life and try to get the negative environment that some of our youth are living in off of. And that's basically what we do. We're at 8244 South Cottage Grove. We're a new organization. Our founder and ED is Bianca Johnson. She has a vision, and we just want to be impactful in the Chatham community.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy, for joining us. Really appreciate your efforts. I will be in touch with you for that steering committee meeting. Next, we have Mr. Jesse from Public Equity.
Good evening, everybody. You know, it's hard to come behind Josh. Josh led on thick. Well, I'm Jesse from Public Equity, and we do the same thing that Josh does. But we're right here in the building. We're right downstairs. So and we do share professional relationship with the 6th District. And this is what we do here. Our mission statement: to improve public health, public safety. And it's just basically everything that he touched on, so I don't want to be redundant and go on and run it on again. You can go to the next one, E. And this is what we do. We have a hospital response team. We have community organizers, community health. We have health fairs. We do the fairs on the streets. You see us. We do the food pass outs. We are involved with the building when they do the Renaissance Fest. We're there every year. We have a table in the community every time they have something on Halstead. Like, once again, the 6th District. We go to the 6th District with them, and we just want to be in the community to let you guys know that we're here. We provide services in the community. And don't be a stranger. We're right downstairs next to Echo Podcast Studio. For any questions or anybody that wants to stop by, we're here.
Yeah. And the great thing about the groups that were able to come here today, they do have some of the same services, but they pick up where the other group leave off. So they have different service areas. So Joshua Coakley, they're a little bit west, they're a little bit east. Mr. Murphy, they're more east, but what we're trying to do is connect all of the dots to make sure that no one slips through the cracks and everyone have the services that they need. So I know Jesse, they got a lot of great services too, but we're just connecting the dots.
And like Josh said, we serve East and West Inglewood, but we don't stop at that imaginary land because we're sisters. We're right up next to the community. So anything that we can help with there, he's in Inglewood, I'm here in Auburn Gresham, and there's no imaginary line. So this is my brother, and we don't stop areas. So we all is one.
Yes, I have a question. My name is Angela. Um, what percentage do you think, because your presence in the community decreased crime?
Well, now that you say that, Josh said he didn't want to get into it. So I can give you a year to date from January 1st to the 1st of this month. With homicide victimizations, last year was 69 shootings, this year is 63. So it is down 8.7%. That's just in homicide. So in robbery victimization, it was 1,540 last year. This year, there's 1,035. So there's a 32% decrease. And those are in those hotspots that Josh was talking about. The good thing about Auburn Gresham is we have a lot of floating crime. So we really don't have a lot of hot spots that we can say, hey, they're here, they're there, they're there, they're there. So we have a lot of floating crimes, and we do work Foster Park and A-Tray as well. So I can go on and on with this percentages, but overall, we are down across the city, and the numbers are down probably 2021. It hasn't been this low. 2020, 2021.
Congratulations and thank you for the
Thank you.
work you do.
So how do we contact you for a crisis response situation?
Well, like I said, we're here. We're in the building downstairs every day. We get in at about 1 o'clock, and we usually stay downstairs. And I do have some brochures, and you can take it and contact us. There's some QR codes and some phone numbers that you can call. And if you'd like, you can take my number, his number, and we're available.
Any more questions?
Thank you, brothers. I appreciate you. I know, but maybe not everyone in this room know. What is 8-tray?
Oh, 83rd Street. I'm sorry. So, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So the Foster Park area, they would consider the A-Tray probably from Racine or Morgan back up into Halsted. So we do service that area. Actually, we go all the way down to about 89th Street.
But one thing I want to add on, if you guys have anybody, any loved ones, anybody that you know personally that's trying to transform or change their life, please send them our way because that's one of the biggest parts of our work is transforming the most at-risk individuals that we have out here so they could be productive members of society. We think we owe them that. So.
No more questions? Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you for coming. So next we have a business owner testimonial from Mr. Jason Parker from Sweet Little Feet.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now, I'm gonna be real quick because I'm tired and it's late. I was asked to talk a little bit about traffic flows and how it affects the business community. So we're gonna talk a little bit about traffic calming. Again, my name is Jason Parker. I'm the president and director of Sweet Little Feet. We're a daycare on 79th and Bishop. Have any small ones? Send them our way. I want to start. I'm a visual person, so my slides are thrown together fairly quickly, but I want you guys to picture what I'm talking about. So this is an east-facing view standing on 79th and Justine. What I want you to look for is color in this first picture. What colors do you see? Do you see any signage, anything that would catch your eye if you were traveling eastbound? This picture right here is directly in front of my location at 79th and Bishop. You can see we got two crosswalks that we're right in between. Again, look for color. That's what I'm asking you to look. That's why I'm showing you these pictures. Look for color. What would catch your eye as a driver? Look for color. Next slide. The next slide is a little bit of motion. Start it for me. It should have started automatically. So I only have access to one camera, which is my own. So I can't get the angle that I wanted, but this gives you a fair sense of traffic conditions. This is it's a different angle. It's from the camera attached to the building, but it's still 79th and Bishop. Looking eastbound, yes. It's all good. Okay, okay. This slide, I didn't know how to speed it up, so bear with me. So we're gonna look at everything together or whatever. But you're gonna see how traffic change. It's pretty calm. This is during my parent pickup, so this is about 3:40 p.m. in March. So you see it's low traffic, but as you watch, traffic will pick up slowly, and you can see cars moving in and out a little bit. And again, I didn't know how to speed up the play, but it's a short video. That's good there. Now that's normal traffic. Well, that was a little fast. That's normal traffic. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. This is one of my parents' cars parked, not in the street or anything. It's a legal parking spot. Fine. It's another parent pulling up with her children. This parent's still sitting in the car, hasn't gotten out. Now she's waiting to get out because you see how close that car got to her vehicle. Look how close that car is getting to her vehicle. Right, again, this is normal day. It's 79th Street. We're familiar with it. Parent exiting. Ready to enter the building. Okay, yep. That's it. So nothing crazy. Y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all thought y'all was gonna see something crazy. Seconds later, same car sitting there. 3 seconds later, car veering directly towards the client. Probably. You can see it better right here. Next slide. Next slide. Now you can see the vehicle that hit her, right? The vehicle is now right there, right? So the car, she pulled over, briefly stood out to look back, and then she proceeded to drive off. So of course, I was irate, I was upset, sent out a series of emails, made some phone calls and things of that nature. And I was thinking, you know, what could have done? Maybe we should have a speed hump. We should have a speed strip. We should have this. We should have that. I went into engineer mode. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to fix it. Then I started thinking, damn it, I live in Chicago. They got CDOT. They got professional engineers that probably do this already, right? So let's see what we got in the area already. So I got in my car and I drove up and down 79th Street. And I asked you again to look for color, right? So I had a conversation with a political figure, and they were saying, "Oh, you can't do certain things on 79th Street. You can't do this on 79th Street." I was asking for simple things like a sign, illuminate the sign. That catches the eye of traffic. Some people slow down. Maybe if it's 5 cars, if one slow down, it has a retroactive effect that slows everybody down. Right? So this is 79th and St. Louis. You see a sign. So this is a little bit west of where we were. 79th and Holman. You see a crossing sign. Again, it's some color. Next slide. Now I said, okay, we in a different neighborhood. Let's go to where some people that look more like me are on 79th Street. So I went east of the Rhine. 79th and Indiana. Wait a minute, I'm starting to see a little bit of color here when I'm driving. Maybe that one driver, now 5 drivers, they not, but that 6th driver, don't see that sign and say, are there any kids there? Let me slow down and check, and then I'll proceed. But you pushing on your brake will cause the other cars to slow down. 79th and Michigan. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing color down there. This still probably our neighborhood, right? Next slide. Oh, we on 79th and Calumet. We got a whole intermediate here. We got yellow cones. We got a diamond. Oh, we got that crosswalk, that double crosswalk that Sweet Little Feet has. We don't have the signage. Our color is faded. Next slide. So I want to go back to that view, that earlier view, 79th and Justine, when I asked you to look for color. And this is July 2022. I went to Google and just took some pictures. May 2025. This is 79th and Justine, 79th Wabash, still east-facing view. You see the color just east of the Dan Ryan, as opposed to our neighborhood, no color, which makes this a speed strip. Once that light changes from Ashland, we trying to get through Loomis before that light turns red again. Let's go. So the question is, what can be done? The question is, when will it be done, and why hasn't it been done? I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Do anyone have questions? 1 second.
I don't even know if I'm eligible to ask this question because I had to step out for a second, but what have you done to get what you want, to get the signs?
So I've been speaking to the alderman's office. I've spoken to the police department as well because no arrest was made, no ticket. We did finally, through the hood and Facebook and all of that, they found the look, because we had the license plate, we had several witnesses. So the hood found the person, and they went to the house and called the police, called the police, called the police until they came and impounded the car. The client is still in the hospital 6 weeks later.
But still no signs?
Well, that's I'm sure in progress.
Oh, it's in progress.
No immediate action, but I haven't heard anything since.
Okay, well, I just wanted to throw out there that we still have the power to petition.
Well, I'm here to let everybody know that I'm disappointed in the actions. Like, you guys are the first to see that portion of the video. Nobody has stopped by, no detectives, anybody, to interview witnesses, call witnesses, see what footage I had. Haven't had it yet.
Mr. Parker, a question like Ms. Johnson had to public equity when you said the hood found out. What do you mean by that?
So what we did our own private investigation. And through the several witnesses who were there, they posted things via Facebook, Instagram. They say, hey, guys, this is the car. This is the license plate. They call family members. Who do you know that could look this up? Who could look that up? Within 20 minutes, we had a name, we had an address, we had a telephone number. The family went to the house. Car wasn't there. The next day, saw the car, right lady. Took pictures of the car, still damaged, sitting out front of the home. Still there. A week later, they decided, because the car was missing in action for a couple of days, a week later, they decided to sit there until someone from the police department actually came to take the car away.
Mr. Parker, Linda Johnson here.
Hey, Linda.
So my grandson, who entered Leo High School in 2016, I would drop him off in the morning at 7:30. All the parents would pull up, whether they're facing going eastbound or westbound. I would go westbound, let my grandson out, and I stood, sat in the car for a moment. Saw another car pull up behind me. The young man got out on the passenger side, went in front of his mother's car, and got hit by a car. And it shook me up so bad that I immediately called the principal, wrote a letter to the proper people, no, made phone calls first. I'm not going to say to where. And there's still, wait, that was 2016. It's 2025, almost 10 years later. There's still no safety crosswalk at Leo High School.
And I don't understand how a couple miles down the road it's there. Just illuminate the stuff, just a little bit to catch one driver's eye to slow down. Hey, school zone, 20 miles per hour.
In other communities, you see pedestrian crosswalks in the middle of
You
the
see
block.
raised pedestrian
Yes,
crosswalks.
but I was told,
I'm not asking, I don't want speed cameras. I don't want
I was told that it was too close to a stop sign at Peoria.
I don't know.
Any more questions? Ms. Norma?
Question me.
1 second, Ms. Norma.
So on deck, next, we are talking about the corridor plan. Jason, weren't you interviewed by CDOT to have a solution in place?
A while ago.
Yeah, we apologize. It took us so long, but Jaya. You want to come up? No, you want to come up. Yeah, so CDOT is Chicago Department of Transportation. Is that right? What is?
So I'm
That's
under
right.
the impression
Cordero.
that there will be some bump outs and there'll be some thinning of the lanes and things of that nature, and that's planned
And
for
some
future.
signs. We
That's
talked
for the
about this
last.
as a community,
But
and it's in there. It's in
I
there.
was
So we
looking
gotta
for
push
something,
CDOT.
some immediate action as far as
Yes.
painting the crosswalk. Make it look more like a crosswalk, like
Yeah.
rather than a faded street.
Yeah, so is there
One
some-
yellow sign.
Is there something we could do to like fast track our corridor plan?
Temporary stuff.
Yeah. Maybe. No, she's not CDOT, but Jaya has helped us. She was one of the reasons, and her predecessor Patrick, why Jason got interviewed, so that his story, and we talked about the bump out at Leo, and we finally have it in a direction and a framework for our corridor plan. And it took forever to get approved, but go ahead, Jaya, I'm gonna let you talk about that. And now that we have this plan, we have a document that we can push and push and push and push. I don't know, Lawrence, if it's something BACP can do to help us get some paint, but we should talk about that too. Because he is a small business that actually was one of the first faces of Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. Jason's picture, his transformation of Sweet Little Feet was the actual first Neighborhood Opportunity Fund in Auburn Gresham. Actually, maybe in the city. Yeah, that was under Ron. So we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna figure out how to get some signs there. We have a similar problem on 83rd. It's just not people. So
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'll help you. We'll exchange information. I've actually known him since like 97. Yeah, yeah. We went to high school together. Yeah, he's a good dude. What? Nah, I wasn't that good. He was better than me. He won a state championship. Yeah, but he's a man of integrity. I'll help him. So we'll exchange information after this. I'll start an email trail with the commissioner. Yeah, I think you might. Yeah, this is not our first foray. I think the first time somebody used your social and I recognize your name. Second time you came in, and then now, yeah, I actually waited around just to hear you talk. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, I figured he would say something that would spark my interest, but I'll hook him up with the commissioner, and he'll probably get one of his goons to fast track this. So
Oh, sorry.
Okay, in reference to like 79th, that's one street I try to avoid. Because of that, I had an incident too. Someone was just trying to overcome me to get around me. I was driving the speed limit, but that's another story. But when there's, it was a police report, I happened to have my camera that the person, he hit my car and drove off, and I had my camera, and I got his license plate. But the car was stolen, once they track him down. But anyway, when there are X amount of incidents that happens in the community, and I'm sure there's a lot of incidents that happen along 79th Street, generally, there's usually some action that's taken. Where I live, this intersection, there were so many, it was from Ashland to Damon, and someone has said, okay, that's a speedway to just, get from Ashland to Damon real fast. There'll be a lot of accidents because there's two one-way, east, going westbound and southbound, and no one adheres to it. But we petitioned, the Block Club petition, and we finally got, because of the number of accidents that would happen at that intersection. So I'm saying across 79th Street, I'm sure that wasn't the first. I mean, I had one, Linda says she had one. So what is our next step? And shouldn't the alderman take an active role in initiating some safety?
So years ago, they mentioned that I was interviewed. The city is aware that there's a problem already. It's just the speed at which they're handling this problem or sending a solution. They already have different categories and things or suggestions of what to do. Now it's getting them to do something and how soon they'll do it. So it's not trying to reinvent the wheel and say we could do this, we could do this. They already know what to do. It's just getting it done.
So it seemed to me they need a little pressure and letter writing,
With it.
telephone calls. I mean, I don't know if there's a campaign. I never heard of a campaign, knocking on doors, signing petition that, hey, we need to do something around 79th Street to make it more safe, especially around school. Because I happened to, where these accidents were happening, it's like about 3 schools in about a block. It's on Honorary.
There's a Chicago Public School 2 blocks south of that location, that intersection. Kids cross that intersection every day, every morning, every afternoon. So again, the city knows. It's just what extra efforts can we do to
Knowing
speed it up?
in us taking action, meaning
I'm here
putting
for
our
action.
names
I'm
on
about that action, boss.
a letter writing, email submitting, telephone like they do in Congress, so they hear us and not just take notes and, do it when they want to, because there's power in numbers. 1 or 2 people calling about it, but, you know, it's safety. And to see that was very disturbing to me, to see that.
To you,
I mean,
it was part of it.
traumatized. Oh, seeing that.
That's why I didn't do the full motion.
Oh, okay. No.
I have a little bit of
And I'm
intelligence.
concerned about that.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Um, for the sake of time, we're gonna let Jaya just give a quick overview about the corridor final plan.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jaya Esaguirre. I am the urban designer for the Southeast region at Department of Planning and Development. And good news, today we actually adopted the 79th Street Corridor Plan. It was started in 2022, and it the engagement, the whole writing of it finished in 2024, and then it took a whole year to finalize and adopt it. But today we've adopted it. We got a lot of support from the aldermen, from GAGDC, from the steering committee, from a lot of community members that came out to the different engagements, and it was really well received. What this means, so in a lot of communities, it's very important to have a plan in place. It gives you access to certain grants that require, some vision, some plan to have been established there. It also sets forth things like zoning guidelines. It doesn't mean a zoning change yet, but it says, the community is supportive of the type of zoning that allows businesses here, or the type of zoning that allows a little bit higher density housing, 2 flats, townhomes, not just single family, which is what the zoning is around this area. So it opens up opportunities for some of these things to change, in terms of zoning, in terms of business licenses, in terms of also streetscape. A big part of the plan was trying to support the CDOT streetscape project. There is a plan that CDOT is working on. I am not intimately involved in it, but I do go to a lot of the meetings. And in this plan, we are encouraging that this plan is adopted. We worked very closely with them to make sure that our recommendations were aligned with what they were saying, so there's no conflict there. And we're just like, we want street safety, we want bump outs in the correct locations. 79th Street is a little bit of a difficult street because it is so, it has a bus route, it's got a lot of traffic, and trying to make sure that safety and fluidity kind of work hand in hand is a lot of CDOT engineering and a lot of technical work, but it's definitely trying to support a lot of the goals and concerns that I think a lot of the community has there. So we adopted it. There's also some catalyst sites identified in it. There's different grants and support for existing businesses, for existing homes, for new businesses, new homes, things like that. It's online, 79th Street Corridor Plan on the DPD website. I can share the link with you guys later, but you're welcome to look at it. If there's any questions, you can reach out to me. Also, I know that we mentioned the Shy Block Builder applications that were opened in April. This is the April round. There will be another one in October. This is for city-owned lots. It's a little bit of a process to get the ones listed. So if there is a city-owned lot that is important to a future business, or maybe an additional home or a side yard, or some kind of expansion to your current business, do reach out to me through GAGDC. They all have my contact, and I can help you kind of pre-vet your application, see if it is something that is ready for this round, or maybe you need a little bit more time to make sure the financing, the design is competitive. So yeah, my contact, Jaya Isaguirre. You can talk to Carlos or anyone. Yeah. And any questions?
Thank you, Jai.
Thank you all.
So I know we went over time, 13 minutes, but I'll be quick. We are having Earth Day on the 87th Street business corridor, what the mall where the Foot Locker is. So we'll have students from Perspectives and students from Westcott doing extracurriculum activities, and we're also looking for volunteers to help our GAGDC team clean up that day in the parking lot. Thank you, Eric. So if anyone would like to come out and volunteer, be a part of it, please reach out to me, get my number after this. If you're online, you have my email, obviously, and leave your information in the chat. And then also the next community roundtable meeting will be June the 26th. Same time, same place. Thank you all for coming out.